When you think about the first Black person in North America, what year comes to mind? 1619, right? The arrival of enslaved Africans in Virginia. Meet Mathieu Da Costa. His story totally flips the script on what most of us learn in school. While UC-centric history often starts the clock in 1619, Da Costa was a respected professional working as a translator for French and Dutch explorers, including Samuel de Champlain, the founder of Quebec City. Think about that for a second. In an era we associate with the brutal beginnings of the transatlantic slave trade, here was a free African man hired for his incredible skills. So, how did he end up in early 17th century Canada? Da Costa was an Afro Portuguese polyglot, a man who could speak multiple languages. He likely knew Portuguese, Dutch, French, and possibly even Basque Pidgin, a common trade language among sailors at the time. He was a bridge between worlds, connecting European explorers with the indigenous peoples they encountered. But here's the really mind-blowing part. Historians believe Da Costa may have already known Mi'kmaq, an indigenous language spoken in what is now Eastern Canada, before he even arrived with Champlain. How is that possible? This detail suggests something incredible. A potential history of pre-colonial contact and trade between Africans and the indigenous peoples of the Americas. It hints that sailors and traders from Africa might have been crossing the Atlantic and forming relationships long before the famous explorers ever set sail. Da Costa wasn't a passive observer. He was a key negotiator, a cultural go-between whose linguistic talents were essential for trade, diplomacy, and exploration. His presence challenges the simplistic narrative of Europeans discovering a new world. Instead, it paints a picture of a much more complex and interconnected Atlantic world, where a free Black man from Africa was a central figure in the founding story of Canada. Unfortunately, many of the details of Da Costa's life are lost to history. Legal documents from 1609 show a dispute over his contract, and after that, he largely disappears from the record. But his existence is a powerful reminder of the countless stories that have been overlooked or erased. He reminds us that Black history in the Americas is far richer, older, and more complex than we've been led to believe. It didn't start with chains. For people like Mathieu Da Costa, it started with freedom, skill, and adventure. So next time you think about the history of North America, remember Mathieu Da Costa, the trailblazing translator who was building bridges between cultures in Canada back in 1608. Thanks for watching. And if you found this story as fascinating as I do, be sure to like and subscribe for more hidden histories.